OG, we OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Runes is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got French right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, like it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. It's a revolution, ayy. Bitcoin is the one, no substitution, ayy. With Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live for another Ordinal hour, and today's a special one because we are 16 years from a magical day. That was the day Satoshi Nakamoto put out the Bitcoin white paper that described what Bitcoin was, a peer-to-peer system, and it's been absolutely amazing. Then a couple months later, January 8th of 2009, Bitcoin came out, and it was one of the biggest things to ever happen to the world, and it's going to be critical going forward that the world adopts this thing, because the way the governments are printing money is not sustainable. It's not. We're going to end up, really inflating everything and really causing mayhem. Bitcoin's here to fix that. Bitcoin's going to be it was supposed to be peer-to-peer money system, but now it's become more than that. Now it's become a protector of wealth, and it's absolutely amazing. I love being in Bitcoin. I love being a Bitcoiner. It's pretty magical. 16 years ago today. Just want to start that show off. Obviously, it's Halloween as well. So happy Halloween to the people that celebrate that. So I'll be out tonight with my kids trick-or-treating, and it's going to be a good time. But without further ado, let's bring in my partner here. As always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man?
What's up, man? So I kind of want to get into this a little bit. 16 years ago today, a man named Satoshi Nakamoto put out the Bitcoin white paper. How do you feel about this? And what goes through your mind at hearing that 16 years?
Yeah, it's an amazing day. It's also seems like Bitcoin is trying to scare some people out of their positions as well because of Hallows Eve, maybe. I don't know. But, it's also a day of celebration. Like you said, it's Bitcoin white paper birthday. And so, I don't know, we might get a pleasant surprise, maybe a little reversal later. But starting off, definitely bloody, like the theme of Halloween.
Yeah, man, for sure. Halloween has been a big day for Bitcoin ever since that day. And let me show you what I mean. So I have this amazing price action chart by Watcher Guru, kind of put this out. So in 2010, on Halloween day, Bitcoin was 20 cents. In 2011, it was $3.27. In 2012, it was $11. Look at that jump. 400% 1 year. 2013, it was $201. 2014, it was $337. 2015, it was $312, 16, $699. And then a monster jump from 16 to 17, $6,369. 2018, $6,332. 2019, $9,172. 2020, $13,537. And then this is kind of where we're at now, right? So in 2020 we were there, and then 2021 we're at 61,837. Huge jump. 2022, 20 grand, huge decline. 2023, 34,494, and then today, $72,250 to start the day. So these are all the starts of the days. What would your prediction be for 2025 on Halloween? Just by going at this chart, just by looking at this chart, nothing else but these numbers kind of being in a pattern. What would you say estimated guess would be?
I would say probably like a 50% increase of where we are now. So maybe more, maybe double. So 100 maybe percent, just because this if it is an extended cycle, then I think we'd have to at least be at like 150,000 next October. But yeah, I mean, it's really hard to tell. If someone in the future, like 15 years from now, looked at this, you would have to explain, hey, 2022 and 2023 was because there was a lot of issues during 2020 with COVID and all this stuff and stimulation and stuff like that. So, from the stimulus checks and all that. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely fun to speculate, but I would say probably at least 150 by next October, which is not necessarily trend either from what we saw before. So.
Yeah, no, 100%. So you're not going by trend, you're going by your personal Bitcoin thought. But by trend, I'm kind of seeing this at 700K. Because there's a couple 10x's here, 2016 and 2017, right? And then you've seen an halving year, and then in 2020, again another 4x here. And I'm kind of going by this pattern year, and the pattern would tell me, potential 6 to 10x, and for next Halloween. So and kind of just by going at this pattern, that's what I'm seeing.
Well, I don't think that's what that pattern says, because you got a 10x at a lower price in 2016 to 2017, but then you got a 4x at the next largest jump, right? So in pattern trends and stuff, it actually would decrease in terms of multiplier. The one outlier that's not a part of this trend is the ETF. So that's the thing that could kind of help.
Yeah, again, you're going by outside stuff. I'm
going by
I'm just kind of go. But look at this, 2012, see $11, so you see a 20x, right?
Yeah,
and
but that decreases.
I know
the X has decreased.
And then you see a 10x from here to here, 9x maybe, and then from here to here you've seen a 4x.
Not even. So not even 4 from 20 to 9. Or if you're looking at
26, no, that's more than a 4. 26 would be 2, so that would be 50. That's like 4.5.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, if you do another decline, then you could see a 3x. Yeah, you might be right on that. Yeah, for sure.
I am right on it. I mean, sometimes you just gotta be wrong,
I'm never wrong. Never wrong.
But I do think from the outlier, that's why I brought the outlier in, is that's where I think you can get to your, 700K goal is because it's the ETF year, and that does make a difference. And so
100%. Yeah, so there's some so today at around 8 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to get our monthly close. How important is a monthly close? I know a lot of big traders say it's one of the most important things for the chart. Do you think it's a big deal, a monthly close?
Yeah, I do. I think it is a big deal if if people have expectations for it to be a strong month, like people are for October, right? To be a green, strong month, because September was also green. So it depends on the expectation and the seasonality of where we are. So for October, yeah, I do think that this monthly close is important.
Yeah, I agree. I think the monthly close is pretty important. I think it puts a dot on Plan B's stock to flow, right? The chart that I truly believe in. People will call me crazy for believing in it because it wasn't wrong last time, but I just feel like this time it's going to be one of the leading charts to kind of show what's going to happen in the next 4 to 8 years. And I can't wait for the new dot coming tomorrow. But let's kind of get into some news here. We heard about this about a week ago, but voting for Microsoft's company to buy Bitcoin for its balance sheet. So they're going after stockholders, people who hold the stock. They're going to be voting. So it just has begun. Voting for Microsoft's investing in Bitcoin assessment proposal has begun. Do you think this is going to get passed, or do you think this is because you got to remember who holds the majority of these stocks, right? It's probably a lot of banks.
I still think it will get passed because I think that they wouldn't even bring this up for vote if it wouldn't get passed.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? The only other explanation that I can think of is if Microsoft is in cahoots with the banking system just to kind of give like a big blow to the Bitcoin space and say, oh, this
Yeah.
was, on the table, and even Microsoft turned it down. But I don't think that that's what's happening. I think that they're truly considering it. And if they were thinking that there was a good chance that it would get denied, they wouldn't even bring it to discussion.
Yeah.
So I think it gets approved.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm kind of hoping they do deny it a little bit because I feel like Microsoft, they're evil, right? That's one of the evil companies, in my opinion, especially with the former, I guess, that guy Bill Gates and stuff with that. I just don't like Bill Gates, and I kind of want him to get left behind. So I'm kind of hoping other companies come out and kind of front run these big three, which the big three is, obviously Microsoft, Apple, and Google. I would love for NVIDIA to come out, NVIDIA and
Or
Tesla to
Dell.
kind of, or even Michael Dell, yeah, 100%, to kind of be the front runners in this, and then these guys have to buy their bags later, or buy at a higher price later. So I'm hoping this doesn't get passed because I just don't like the people who do hold the stock, and one of them being the owner of the Clippers, the owner the owner of vaccines, which is Bill Gates. But moving along here, Reddit sold majority of its Bitcoin before BTC started pumping in October. This was the SEC filing by Reddit because they did report yesterday their earnings for Q3. What's your opinion on this? Do you think might be the biggest mistake that Reddit has ever made?
Um, it depends on the situation they're in from a business standpoint, right? Did they need to liquidate because their books are just really bad? So I would need more details. I don't think that they would sell Bitcoin heading into a bull run unless they absolutely needed to. So they definitely need more details than that. But if there's no issues then with their company and their books and their balancing of their books, then yeah, this would be a horrible mistake in my opinion.
Well, you have to remember they are a publicly traded company, right? So what can publicly traded companies do? They can sell their stock. So they made a decision to sell their Bitcoin instead of their stock. They made a decision to sell Bitcoin instead of everything else. So no, I don't care really matter what the company's doing. You can sell your stock down. But if that's something that you're not willing to do and you're willing to sell your Bitcoin in potentially the biggest year that Bitcoin's ever had, which is 2025, in my opinion, is going to be, I think this is going to be a monumental mistake, and they're going to have to buy their Bitcoin a lot higher than they sold it.
Yeah, it really depends, right? Like, what if their stock is struggling, right? I don't know, right? And so if their stock is struggling and they need to show strength to TradFi markets, then this is a way to do it too. So again, need more details, but
But you can show strength by holding the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin goes up. Like if you're
yeah,
that much,
but
if you're a believer in it, then you're just going to be like, okay,
But
like you're
that's not
good.
but that's not what traditional TradFi, traders will look at. They're not going to look at your Bitcoin balance sheet. Maybe some in-depth ones, but the other ones are going to look more at like your revenue, your annual revenue, your quarterly revenue, and like your balance sheet and your stock price and strength, right? So you have to also remember that like there's a transition still happening in between TradFi and the crypto industry and Bitcoin, right? So it's not fully there yet, So there's still these companies that are probably looking more for like fundamental, like traditional fundamentals with their company and their
Yeah.
books.
So this is Reddit. It's up only. There's no excuse to sell the Bitcoin. They're not struggling. They've been up. This is 2017, 2022. This is pretty much up only here. So, well, this
Yeah.
is not Reddit. Is it your Reddit?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's a symbol. Yeah, that's a symbol. This is Reddit. So yeah, they've been pretty much up. I mean, they're over the course. So their low was about $122 in June, and now they're sitting up about 181. So they've been up only. Like, I just don't see the reason to sell the Bitcoin here.
Oh, I see them at 116.30 right now. I don't know because I see Reddit Inc. is what I'm looking at, but it does look on the like
Okay.
if you look at the 1 month, I mean it's still up. It's just
Yeah.
kind of
Okay, this
sideways
is the
right now.
correct chart. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
$116, yeah.
I mean, that's still
I mean, did they put out a statement at all?
nothing about Bitcoin. They did have an earnings call yesterday. They didn't really talk about their Bitcoin. They obviously they said they did it, but that was really it about it.
Yeah, well, here's a statement. It looks like it says, while we believe in cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology have significant potential, the popularity and prevalence of cryptocurrencies is a relevant recent trend. Whether crypto and blockchain technology will continue to be adopted is uncertain. So that was why they liquidated all of their Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah.
But also, that could be kind of misleading and on purpose, like they're not going to
Yeah.
give all their secrets away type of situation.
Reddit really got big off crypto. The Bitcoin chat rooms and stuff like that were monstrous in the early days of 2015, 2016.
I
They really
remember.
led the charge, and for them to kind of throw it all away here, because they got advertisers and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't really like Reddit anymore. I'm actually gonna stop using their service because of this personally, but that's just me. All right, moving along here. U.S. spot ETF near overtaking Satoshi Nakamoto's $1.1 million. So I have that here. It's a really cool chart here if I can find it. Oh, here it is. All right, so it's basically the U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF. So BlackRock is the leader with 429,000 Bitcoin. Grayscale is in at number 2 spot, sitting at 254,000 Bitcoin. Fidelity at 188,000. ARK at 50,000. Bitwise 42, and then follow up VanEck, Valkyrie, Invesco, Franklin Templeton, Wisdom Tree with a total of 1,007,665. So they are about probably a couple percentage points away from positioning themselves as the leader. Do you think potentially down the line, and I was thinking about this last night, do you think the ETFs get to about 40 to 50% of all the Bitcoin that exists?
I mean, that's a long ways from where we are now, but I mean, if you're talking 20 years down, 10 years down the line,
Yeah.
possibly, yeah.
So you're saying potentially, let's just say 2034. Could you see this at, I don't know, 7-8 million Bitcoin in here?
I could, but also it depends on what the demand looks like from other nation states and
Yeah.
other just regular companies too, right? So this is something that's different. Like, MicroStrategy having all that Bitcoin, stockpiled,
Yeah.
whether you look at it as like reserves or what, you just didn't really hear about a bunch of companies like having gold stockpiled too much, right? Maybe that was happening. I don't know,
Yeah.
but like this is something that's new from my knowledge, and so we're gonna see if other companies really truly follow that blueprint. Because for them at least, it really has shown an amazing hedge for like their business during hard times, possibly. I know that they do have a lot of business. Like I said before, micro strategies is similar to Oracle in terms of operating systems for companies, kind of building that out. I know that they do probably other stuff too, software wise, but a decline in corporate revenue and stuff like that can definitely, give them a hit. And then having Bitcoin there in the back just kind of shows strength to other investors, right? So
Yeah.
the
100%.
Microsoft thing, I think, is going to be big. Whether you hate the owners or not, like if Microsoft comes on and signs on and says, "Okay, yeah, we're going to bring Bitcoin on, kind of as an investment," I think that changes everything. And it's already changed a lot of stuff because you have Mega Planet, I believe, from Japan that's doing it, and some other
Yeah.
companies.
No, I'm not saying it's not good. I think it's amazing for Bitcoin. I just hope they get front ran. I just hope they have to buy it
Yeah,
at
more
300,000.
expensive.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, moving along here. So it does seem like retail's coming back. Robinhood's crypto trading volume increased 112% year over year. Robinhood is pretty much all retail. I don't really see anyone really using this. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's probably like 90% retail. 112% year over year. Do we see an increase to let's just say next Halloween? Do you see this up? I truly believe that. I think this is up 900%. Because last year was an all-time low for Robinhood since they launched. Their crypto volume was super, super low. And that was normal because the year before was when, right before FTX kind of destroyed itself. And then, the year after, there was really no interest really in crypto last year besides us in Ordinals and Solana. But now, potentially, you're seeing retail re-enter starting potentially this month.
Yeah, Robinhood, I think, is one of the leading indicators on, the masses, the noobs, or like the regulars coming back into the crypto space. If it goes all the way back to 2017, I believe they joined back then. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know obviously Coinbase was really, really popular back then as well. But we know for a fact from last cycle, like Doge was really boomed because of Robinhood. And if you look at the UX, it was like the easiest way to onboard people, and not just from crypto, but like stocks in general. People were going crazy with stocks, trading options and stuff. Like, and they didn't even know how to trade regular stocks, and they were getting into options because it was so simple. It literally was so easy. And so I think that once we start to see the volume with Robinhood go up, then yes, and then I think you're absolutely right. We have these conversations kind of behind closed doors about, like, they're probably looking for their next Doge, whether that's Bells, whether that's like, another, whatever meme coin is next. They're probably going to have something crazy like that where the masses just, simply get into their Robinhood app and they buy it because it's so easy that way.
Yeah, exactly. That would be something getting listed on Robinhood to me is bigger than OKX, bigger than Binance, bigger than Coinbase. It's the biggest because it's the most retail friendly. And once something is like retail friendly, it's gonna take off. I mean,
Yeah.
especially when new people are just going, "Oh, let me open my Robinhood. I haven't opened this up in a while. Oh, what's this new thing here? Let me just put a couple bucks into it." Because there's not like a crap lot of cryptocurrencies there. They don't have a lot of options. They might have like 10 to 15 different cryptos on there. So if you put something on there that could really boom, and if you're looking for the next Doge, something like Bells could be something to add there for sure.
Yeah, that would be very interesting if that happens. But what's funny is that it goes back to kind of basic fundamentals of business and convenience, right?
Yeah.
Like you have Merlin right now talking about like the Telegram approach and some other chains trying to do that because of something that goes back to the fundamental basics of something like Robinhood, right? Like that's so easy. Like the front end is so easy. You don't have to worry about anything. And so yeah, this will let us know. I think we should probably try to come up with like find a good indicator with Robinhood's volume and just keep track of it week by week, man, because it'll
Yeah.
let us know the masses come over. That's for sure.
100%. Or when they start to leave, or if it gets too hype, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah, I think Robinhood's volume is definitely something we should be looking at on a week to week basis. Minimum.
100%.
Here's the next thing here. This isn't really Bitcoin stuff, but like I just want to mention this because this is pretty big. Franklin Templeton, they've been investing in a lot of Bitcoin companies, but they just started a $410 million on-chain money market fund, and it's live on Coinbase's base chain, which is Ethereum layer 2. I thought this was insane. I mean, we knew Franklin Templeton's in, but now they're in. They're doing their business now on blockchain.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about them, man. I really love them because like they embraced it as soon as the Bitcoin ETF was approved. They like, changed their PFP to like laser eyes or whatever they did. And they've had articles talking about runes and Bitcoin assets and stuff. So Franklin Templeton could be a big player in the overall crypto space, specifically our space, right? So I really want to keep my eye on them and see what they end up really getting into, because when this kind of money gets in, and that's really, things can get crazy.
100%. Yep. And they're already using so I think it's CBTC, which is or CBBTC, which is
Yeah.
Coinbase's. That's gonna be a big player I'm hearing in their fund. So that's pretty cool. Locking up Bitcoin on the base chain. But next thing here, this is insane. Stablecoin issuers like Tether are buying too many T-bills, says Janet Yellen. So much So that it wants stablecoins replaced by she wants basically a stablecoin replaced by a CBDC. I saw this from Watcher Guru and I was just like, uh-oh. But yeah, I truly believe if this election goes the way we don't want it to go, that we will see a CBDC, and it's because these T-bills are getting bought up by every single stablecoin provider, and there's more and more every single day. We see them in our space as well. It's just smart because there's no risk buying a T-bill, and you're locking up that money anyway. You might as well earn on it, which makes the company money. What do you think about this? Janet Yellen coming out and saying too many T-bills are being bought up by Tether
Yeah,
and Circle.
I think she wants to, for them to benefit, and they're not. And the way they benefit is having control over the stable coin. And so you're absolutely right. I think we need to stay away from this as much as possible. Will there be a point where it's going to be inevitable that there is some sort of CBDC, like with the US dollar? Probably, if everything goes digital. But how will they handle that? How will they try to surveillance it? How will they, um, you know, control the power that they'll have over that, because that's the most important thing, right? Because with CBDC, the scariest thing is rules, right? All of a sudden now you don't have access to your digital dollars because you've used too much carbon credit, or you've done your social credit. Now we're talking about like communism and all this crazy stuff going down the crazy loophole, right? Or rabbit hole, sorry. But anyhow, I don't like to think about that because I do feel like we're going in the other direction. And kicking things off with a good way of regulating things is important, and that could be right around the corner.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, this is scary. People like Janet Yellen and Gary Gensler really scared me to the point. CBDC would be the worst thing that would ever happen to the government, because it's basically we're going backwards, we're not going forwards. So they'll have more control instead of less. And I think just letting these private companies run these stable coins, backing them by treasuries. So what does that do? That's government debt that's being bought, right? And there's more and more government debt every single year. So without these CBDC, I'm sorry, without these stablecoin providers, I mean, what happens when China starts dumping the T-bills, right? So like, you know what I mean? I think this is necessary, and for her to come out, she just seems to be 30 years ago. She seems to be still running in like 20 like 1999,
Typewriter.
dude. Yeah, honestly, but
Yeah. It's gonna be
all right, all
interesting
right,
though. If I want to say one thing, if
yeah.
Elon becomes like, really does it eliminate like $1 trillion of debt and stuff, what that's gonna look like, because that market's gonna change, if he does do that. But
Yeah.
regardless, yeah, I agree. It's and one other thing too, Japan, they're coming out with a CBDC, so it really depends on how they handle it, right? Like these countries, it because like I said, I think it's inevitable that there's going to be a dollar that's going to be digital. It's just how they handle that whole power control.
We already have it though. Like, what do we need the government to create it for?
I mean,
Government needs to be
you have
hands off.
crypto friendly countries that are still releasing CBDCs though.
Yeah, but how friendly are they? Like, you know what I mean?
Japan,
When they're able to program stuff into your coins that can just take it from you at any second.
yeah.
One day your coins are in your wallet, the next day they're not. And there's
Yeah.
no signature.
Well,
You know what I mean?
also, but if that doesn't have to be the only option, I think that's important, right? Like, not
Yeah.
making it have to be the only option, and then that actually makes them to compete for you, right, and for your business. And so,
That's not
like,
an option to me.
so
CBDC
so
is not an option.
so I'm not saying it's a good option. I would never use it, but I'm just saying it might be inevitable one day. Is what I'm trying to tell you. Because the way that governments work, right? So let's just talk about Japan, right? They already announced that they are coming out with a CBDC. They are crypto friendly to Sonium and all these
Yeah.
other crypto companies over there, Mega Planet or whatever their company's name is. So maybe they're just going to be a competitor of a stable coin, but you don't have to use it. You can use Circle, you can use USDT.
All
I
they
don't
gotta
know.
do is FDIC certify Circle, and that they don't need to do anything else. They don't need to do anything else, but say, "Hey, if Circle gets in trouble, we'll come in and bail them out," just like we do the banks. Like that's all they need, and that's probably just a very short-term Band-Aid, thing that they probably need at one point, just like you kinda saw with, what happened to them about 2 years ago, I wanna say, when they kinda unpegged for the first time, you know, but I that's all they need to do. They don't need to do anything else. They don't need to come in and get their dirty hands, greedy hands on what we're doing, for this ecosystem, what we're doing for the world. I mean, there's no need for a CBDC. I mean, Japan's gonna learn that the hard way. when people are just not using it. Hopefully not using it.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know. I hate
if they
seeing
get
these used.
they're talking about getting rid of the Federal Reserve. Then what happens with the FDIC, right? So I don't know. There's a lot of stuff to
Well,
learn.
yeah, you get rid of the Federal Reserve, but you can put something, you can put something else in its place,
Replace
right?
it.
That
Yeah.
controls that. Yeah, 100%. Let's get into the Bitcoin fear and greed. Um, Let me grab the Binance thing real quick. Okay, so last Thursday we were at a 71. Yesterday we were at a 77. Where do you think we are now? I'll give you my hint for today. We're not we're not moving.
74, 79.
77.
Oh wow, at
77. So
all.
last week 71. So we haven't so this number is put in at that 12:00 UTC time, which is 8 p.m. Eastern. So at that time we were still bullish. As of right now, we are not so bullish, right?
Yeah, right now, and this will probably change for tomorrow. A Friday score. I will say, depending on how much more we dump, there's I think a liquidation pocket between 69.5 and 70,000. So we might try to touch down there. But if we do, then yeah, we'll probably have one of our first volatile score changes in a while. So we'll see.
Amen. All right, let's get into that Bitcoin price action brought to you guys by the great guys at BitPerp. BitPerp is going to be one of the leading leverage trading platforms in all of the Bitcoin ecosystem. They're going to be on many chains. They're going to be on CoreDAO. They're going to be CoreDAO. They're going to be on B Squared. They're going to be on BitLayer and many more. These are just the ones on testnet now. You can go over there right now, and you guys can go to bitperp.io and start the paper trading. Me and Yagobi are both paper trading, and it's been fun so far. I'm up like 100K. I don't know how it happened, but I went 180. I went 150x long, and I did really well. I closed it, so that was cool. But I'm having fun with it, and I'm earning points. What am I earning? I'm earning points. Potentially get something. What normally happens with points? I'm not saying it's coming from them, but what normally happens is you get an airdrop for the people who use the testnet and stuff like that. So definitely look out for that. Definitely start participating if you're not yet. That's bitperp.io.
Yep. Before we get into the Bitcoin price action, if you're on the YouTube side, guys, please smash that like for us. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. On the X side, please hit that like for us as well, and share this space so we can educate and onboard as many people to the Bitcoin ecosystem as possible. But let's get started with this Bitcoin price action brought to you guys by the great people at BitPerp. We're going to start with the hour chart. Like always, you can see we just took this big, huge dump right here. We're kind of hanging around 72.5 and then decided, okay, you know what? There's too many newbies coming in, taking 100Xs. Let's go ahead and liquidate them, hit all the stop losses on the way down. And now we're kind of hanging out at like 7800 around there. We did get all the way down to I think 70,200. For the second half of today, the MACD does look like it's still looking pretty strong for the sell pressure. You can see that we just got into oversold territory. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do break into the 69.5 range, grab some liquidity there, maybe bounce back from there. But we are, about a $1,300 away from that right now. So we would still have to see a pretty further bleed down, I would think. I would love to stay above 70,000 for Bitcoin heading into November. But regardless, look, we got all the way to 73.4, something like that. So we did hit a really good, strong number. It was time for a little bit of a pullback. It's never going to be up only until we get to a new all-time high for Q4. Then we'll probably have an up only for like a month and a half, maybe around there, and then pull back in early next year. So second half of today, I am expecting further down, maybe low 70,000s, in between 69.5 and 70,000 possible. But don't listen to me. Don't take any positions off of that. I am kind of staying out of trading right now because I don't know how further down this wants to bleed. But so that is for the hour chart. Let's take a look here at the 8-hour chart. So the 8-hour chart is going to give us more of a week out kind of view forecast. So that's going to give us maybe like a couple days after election date, right? It does look like it's starting to weaken here a little bit, but that's been happening for the past couple of days here. It hasn't closed up on the MACD quite yet. So, but the stochastics does look like it wants to start going down, wants to start pointing down. You see this red candle starting to form here. Again, this is October, but if you take a look at the previous cycles, you do see in the halving year, you do see a pullback a day or two, and then kind of continuation on that upward trend. So, I do think that's what we're going through right now is a bit of a pullback, maybe today, tomorrow. If that's the case, I wouldn't mind pulling back below 70,000, then just kind of get it out of the way. Get back to 69, 5, maybe even a little bit lower, and then continue on, heading into the election, and then afterwards into Thanksgiving and the holidays, right? So for this next week, probably a little bit choppy up and down. I would say, getting maybe into 69,000 range, and then back to 73, and then after election, bam, boom up after we get those results. So just I don't expect any huge bloody event or anything like that, and I don't expect any huge like thrust up until probably those election results, and then after that we'll probably start to all get really, really giddy, because at that point alts will probably say, okay, it's time to join the party.
Yeah, I completely agree. The Bitcoin chart's really important, but I truly believe that the most important chart right now is the DXY. I think this needs to come down. We're at 104 right now. I think that we need to get back down to 101, 102. We need to have a sharp pullback here and come back down to $99 if we want to see Bitcoin start to really move. If we want to see Bitcoin start to really, really move 90K, 100K, we need the DXY to be at that 101, 100 to even lower. The lower, the better. And if you go look on all the charts, you can see every time Bitcoin has had its epic bull run, a lot of that money comes from the people holding the dollar, and that dollar goes into Bitcoin, which makes the DXY kind of drop a little bit. And we need that to happen, in my opinion.
Yeah, possibly. One weird thing though, if you take a look here, this is September 29th of this year, and this is DXY, and it looks like an October event, right?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of followed Bitcoin, kind of, because the beginning of Bitcoin wasn't necessarily, beginning of October was kind of choppy, but then like it did have this October as well. So yeah, it's been a little weird. Like October, DXY and Bitcoin have followed each other, but typically, like 90% of the time that doesn't happen. So
Yeah, and every time it does happen, there's usually huge, long liquidation. So that's the one thing that bothers me as well, is like normally when this does happen, we get
it's a fake out to the breakout.
Yeah, exactly. So Bitcoin drops down where it's supposed to be while the dollar's pumping, and then they kind of switch roles, and Bitcoin can kind of get off. So it's a little scary that they're pumping together, and they're kind of dipping together here too. They're very correlated, and it's not. I don't think that's good for Bitcoin, honestly.
Yeah, well, we're heading into a territory that we know that should be good. So
100%.
I don't think there's anything to worry.
Uh-oh. Did I lose? All right. Looks like Yagobi jumped out. But I hope he'll be back in a second. But let's kind of jump into some stuff here. So the Locked Up Cats is live official. So, well, no. Okay. So this is a message from Sato C. Important notice: minting will be temporarily postponed due to ongoing technical issues. So it did go live this morning. I just got into the Lockup Cats. It did go live this morning, but then it was postponed. About 3,333 of these things, or 3,000, something like that, actually got minted, and then the rest of them kind of weren't going through. I tried from like 4 different wallets. I could not get it going, and then eventually this note came out from Sato C saying the mint is being postponed. This is a good thing that they finally kind of gave up on it. We heard that they were being DDoS attacked during this. So
yeah, I think that if you can't fix a mint or something within a couple hours, you've got to reschedule and postpone it, just because you lose the hype, you lose that energy from it, right? And I know a lot of people are excited about this, for many good reasons. It is innovative. It's the art's actually pretty cool with these. So I think this was the right move. You got to have things going seamless and smooth, especially if you can't get it fixed in a short period of time. This is the right move.
Yep. I agree. I'm glad they did that. But let's jump into the roll call here.
Hey,
let's see who's here. First is first on the show, and today is Mr. Hanky, the Christmas Poo. He loves me, and I love you. It's almost your season, Mr. Hanky. It's almost your season. Shout out to you, my friend. Chief Axel is here. Yasher is here. One of our mods. We appreciate you so much, my friend. Choda is our guy. He helps us out with the R&D. And then we have Webdro is here. Patrick Nand is here. GM Patrick. Cheedy is our guy, man. Green Man is here. Mempool Punk. Steamy J. I Walk Alone says, how do you stole USDT thing? Oh yeah, you did message me. I'll definitely message you back. You just got to get a Phantom wallet. It's pretty simple. I Walk Alone is here. Ordinals tweets and Nagy, Lackey, Lukey is here. Tim Baker, AOD Art, Sammy Turnpike right down the street. Shout out to Sammy. Ant-Man is here. Chain Watcher, Mats is here. No is here. Rick G says long live BRC20s. Yes, and that Glizzy. John is here. Nighthawk UXL. Pelpa is here. Mike Worlds is here. Brandon Wampler, the track lord himself. Track continues to dump. Very sad. Said at least you got your 2.4 to 4.8 tap airdrop. Yeah. I thought Brandon was a tap guy. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's a stacks guy.
No. He is a tap guy. But
okay.
He's just saying, it's sad that like track is dumping. But
yeah, with a slow airdrop.
Yep.
Batuse is here. Ernesto Gonzalez is here. D Love is here. Shout out to D Love. Kamal says happy Diwali to both of you from India.
Happy Diwali.
What is Diwali?
It's a Indian holiday. I think it starts. Yeah, it starts in November maybe, but goes through December, something like that.
Oh, amazing!
Awesome. Yeah, they have. It's almost like Christmas lights, except for they're all just white lights on the house.
Oh,
pretty cool.
Awesome. He says also, I've minted successfully won. Good for you, bro. I'm happy for you. I was not able to, and I tried so many times. Christopher Abate is here. Says Elsa going to come back.
Really?
That would be awesome. Matt's is here. Big Rod here. Afternoon, guys. Afternoon, Big Rod. Happy Homers in the building. And that is your roll call for today. Shout out to every single one of you guys who make roll call every single day, man. It's absolutely amazing having you guys here every day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Showing up every day, no matter what, even on a bloody Halloween. But hey, guys, we're still above 70,000, so let's be happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be mad about that. You gotta love it. All right, so I got the lock up cats thing. All right, so Memento Memore is now live on Liquidium. So I thought that was pretty cool. Liquidium, dude, it was like a second after the airdrop. Liquidium was like, "Yo, you guys could take out loans against it." I was like, I was blown away by it.
Is that's a bullish indicator or what? Because I mean, it's still peer-to-peer, right? So there has to be demand for it from a peer-to-peer standpoint. It's not like Liquidium's going to lose on that. So I think that's why Liquidium is so quick to rush, because they win because they get fees, basically.
Yeah. Yep. And let's just say you got the airdrop. I know somebody, Nighthawk, he made a bundle. He subscribed to the Patreon in, he said May, and he was like, "Yo, I made like a bunch of stacks." I was like, "Good for you, bro." But like, let's just say someone like him who got like, a bunch of money, you could take that. And if you were super bullish on it and you wanted more, you could take a loan against it, buy more, and you kind of have a leveraged long position. You know what I mean? If you were into it. So I don't know. It definitely allows you that stuff. And we know Fluid's building something like that as well, eventually, hopefully down the line. But Memento Mori minted out, and people got the airdrop. 46 Bitcoin spent, 27,000 transactions lost to the void, RIP invalid transactions. So it does go to a good place, though. You are donating it to the miners, but how do you? When will this stop? When will we stop losing so much Bitcoin to the mining to the miners?
What do you mean, for fees or for?
So 27,000 transactions went through that were they got nothing back for it, right?
Yeah.
So when you're minting, you're sending Bitcoin to the miners to mine you position the block. Those miners still mine no matter what. Your transaction's still in, even if you don't get the coins, because there's only a certain amount of coins.
Do you think that there should be platforms that guarantee it? Some do, with guaranteed mints and stuff, right? Like, but you have to be whitelisted and stuff like that. So that's one way to avoid it. But other than that, I don't know if there's any other way, right? So you have to create like some sort of whitelist mechanism, and then it only allows people with those addresses to mint. But there's not going to, I don't think you can do some sort of like sniper protection in terms of guaranteed mints, because like it is. I like how Bitcoin is with that. It's like an auction type of chain, right? So unfortunately. Now, the RBF part to, go back and forth, I think that can be crazy. Because sometimes that gets really high, but that gets really high more, I think, on secondary markets whenever things get, a cheap price is found or something for a node monk. And then they just keep going back and forth.
Yeah. For minting though, it's you can RBF just steals it, right? So you're the person, you're not getting anything back for it. So I hate it, but there's nothing you can do about it. I just don't play. I don't mint. What I do, if I want something, I wait for about 70%, 80% of it to get minted out. Then I go to Magic Eden. There's usually someone listing it lower than what I'd pay anyway, and I get it guaranteed, right? Or at least get my money back. So for me, I stopped playing the mint game. I don't mint no more. I just don't enjoy the experience. I don't like risking my Bitcoin to get absolutely nothing back, because let's just say I get in at like 9 sats and then all of a sudden 3,000 people go rushing in, and then I lose that because I didn't put that high enough. And it's just not a game that I enjoy playing. I'd rather go buy it from Magic Eden. Do you think more and more people are going to start thinking like me?
I mean, we've been through this, right? With BRC20s. It depends on how much you actually paid. Like if you mint a ton and stuff. I've missed out on, I think the most I've ever wasted in one mint was probably like $1,500, but that's a lot for just throwing away. I don't know if anybody's done more than that. I've minted stuff that
$1,500.
I think once.
Oh my!
Because like I minted, it was really competitive, and the mempool fees got high, and I thought I did it high enough, and it got super competitive to where it was even higher, and I just missed the tail end of it. That's the problem, is that like if you're in the middle of a mint and it's the hype is there, that's where the FOMO can kill you, because you're like, if it's in the middle and the hype is there, walk away, in my opinion, right? Because I think at that point, I mean, you're giving yourself a chance to like lose money, right? I mean, because then you're like, how competitive do I need to be? Am I going to pay more than what this is going to go for secondary? There's a lot of thoughts that go in your mind. But after I did that, I kind of backed off of like trying to be hyper competitive with mints.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I did lose a bunch in the beginning, just trying the the BRC20s and stuff. And when runes came, we were minting in, I want to say, April. And I think right around like April, May, I was just like, you know what? It got to be a better way. And then I started going to doing the math, right? On a lot of the mints. I'm like, I can get this cheaper on secondary. Like, what am I doing? So I think everyone's, if you start doing the math, go to second, because a lot of times it's people who got in super early. They just want to get a 2x. Like, this is their business, right? And you can potentially make good on that because you get it at the price that you want to pay. So yeah, I think minting will be for the noobs, I think, and us us veterans will eventually just learn that, just give the guy his 2x and buy on secondary because it's guaranteed.
Yeah. That's usually, if it doesn't matter how popular it is, right? You typically can get a good deal still. Because like you said, people are just waiting for that 2x for the mint to finish.
Yeah, man. I'm just trying to find something for our next thing here. All right, we'll skip that in a second. So the results are in. This is a tweet from Unisat. They said the results are in, and it's a landslide. 90% yes out of 1,696 votes. The community has spoken, and we honor it. Glizzy and FB is joining the FB rewards lineup for the LP Fest Epoch. So if you don't know what the LP Fest Epoch is, Fractal is basically giving FB to people that supply liquidity in Pizza Swap. So if you go to Pizza Farm, and I have been like living on Pizza Farm lately. So if you go to pizzafarm.io, it kind of gives you everything you need to know about the pools and stuff.
Is that the best? Is that the best DApp you feel like right now? That's outside of like the swap and stuff. Pizza Swap.
I wouldn't say
DApp. Pizza Farm. Sorry.
I would say this is like the Genie data.
Okay.
I guess you would say. So these weren't here yesterday. This $500,000 was not here yesterday. So I had this brilliant idea about a week ago. I was like, instead of going through DotSwap, I can potentially just use the bridge my Bitcoin over, and then go into Pizza Swap with my S Bitcoin and just swap that for SFB, and then I have my FB in there, or I can pull that out if I need to. And I tried to do that, and there was no liquidity for BTC FB. I was like, oh no! So I had Bitcoin in there in the swap, and I should have checked it first, but I just assumed that I could get at least a close number on the swap. Maybe I lose like a couple bucks. I wasn't really worried about it, but like I was just trying to get an easy way to get Bitcoin from Bitcoin in the pizza swap, and that seemed to be the easiest way. But there was no LP. But as of today, as the epoch has started, so these guys are now earning FB. But you can see Glizzy was number 1, but it is now number 3.
But it counts.
But it's
it
up though.
It counts a part of. It counts a part of the earners now, though, right? Glizzy does.
Yes. So according to this,
what pools earn now?
These 3.
Wow, this is huge, guys.
Yeah, SFB, SSATs is the first pool. SBTC, SFB is the second pool, and then Glizzy and FB is the third pool. So these 3 right here are the earners. And I assumed it was going to be FB Sats. I assumed it was going to be FB and BTC. But Glizzy being one of the 3,
that's huge,
right?
That's huge for Glizzy. Number 1.
Yeah.
3 points here. Number 1, that's huge for Glizzy. Getting accepted into that rewards liquidity pool. Number 2, you sound like you're starting to be a pretty big fanboy of Pizza Swap, my friend.
I am.
Which you were a very, very harsh critic of, and so was I. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. And number 3, this is the first big step towards something similar to Pancake and Uniswap in terms of like giving a solid reward, right, to liquidity providers. Now we shall see these liquidity pools go up. And from what you're telling me, your experience within the Pizza Swap module has gotten better by what, like 10 times? Like the experience?
So it's never been the experience. The experience has always been the same. For me, I wasn't putting anything in, right? Because it was Hotel California. You can check in, but you can never check out. And and it's kind of like, me and you kind of dealt with that last year, or I want to say maybe in like February when we deposited into the Unisat swap on layer 1, and we had to watch prices go up and we weren't able to sell. And I didn't want to do that again. So I was immediately thrown off by it. I was like, this is the same shit we had on L1. But then about 10 days ago, they came out and says withdrawals are possible. And me, as somebody who is just a user, guys, I love using things. I love checking things out. I love just playing with it. I put, a couple $100 into Pizza Swap, deposited it in, and then withdrew it back out. And I was like, ding, 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 ding. And so then what did I do? I deposited more in. And I withdrew that out, and I was like, all right, cool. So now I'm in, right? And I have, I'm a holder of FB, I'm a holder of Glizzy, so I added to the LP pool. I put it in, I took it out, right? And it worked good. So again, the more I use things, the more confidence I get in them, and now I'm super confident in that is working great. And you can see that Glizzy is still leading the volume, though. The 7-day volume anyway, and the 24 hours. So this one has 0 volume. It just looks like some big player came in to earn the rewards if they're already holding FB and BTC. So
yeah, look, if these liquidity pools get to where I think they're heading, I mean, you're talking about BTC and FB, and then FB and SAT. So they're kind of following through with the SATs thing, right? In terms of trying to still prop that up and make it useful and the value of it stay strong. I'm surprised though that they didn't add an Ordi pool into like the earnings. Are you or no?
No, I don't think Unisat is a big Ordi holder. In my opinion, I think that they're holding a crap load of sats. They're obviously the deployer of FB, and so they want to prop up FB and sats. And I think Ordi already made people rich, right? I don't think it has that much of a kick left in it.
Really? So you don't think it continues on in terms of growing its market cap?
I think money comes out of Ordi and goes into things like Dog if Dog gets listed. I think money comes out of Ordi and goes into things like FB and Sats. I just think there's more big players in town. Do I think it goes up? Yeah, I think it goes up, but I don't think the X's are there for Ordi that there are for things like FB and Sats and stuff like that. Just because Unisat is a big holder of Sats, and we know that.
So this vote that they did, was it for only to yes or no for Glizzy to get into this, and
Yeah.
so they already hand selected the other two pools, and we're like, these are for sure in.
Yep.
And then was it between Glizzy and others, or was it just only like, okay, Glizzy, yes or no? Okay,
Yep, it was only Glizzy, yes or no.
dude,
And
Glizzy's gonna be
they spelled Glizzy
yeah,
wrong. It's
really.
GLLZZY. I was like, uh-oh.
Well, yeah,
But go
I
ahead.
guess.
What you said, I cut
Well,
you off.
I was gonna say is that they're trying to make Glizzy the meme coin of Fractal's chain, which it already was, right?
Yeah.
So far, I know Stats Fun Fun still has to come out, but like Glizzy right now is being established, like very rooted, at least from the Chinese side. And you have your Western participants as well, like that we are, and then also you have OSD and probably some others. But the Chinese involvement, like you always like to say, is when you type of search in a ticker search in X, and when there's Chinese writing coming back for these posts, then you get even more bullish because now you have East and West kind of coming together in one community, and we've seen what can happen with that. So I actually would not be shocked if Glizzy pulls a Rats. Does it do 800 million? Ugh, that's tough, but like Rats was still the number 3, highest in the Unisat BRC20 ecosystem, and if Glizzy's going to be number 1 over here, I wouldn't be too shocked if it gets to $300 to $500 million market cap.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Glizzy doesn't need to get that high because when Rats minted, it was a very high mint because of the gas fees are super high, right? So it came out at like a $26 million market cap. It came out super high, maybe 15 at the lowest. So, but Glizzy's at a $3 million market cap. So for Glizzy just to do the X's that Rats did, you only needed to go to a $100 million market cap for it to be really successful and enrich its holders, right?
Yeah.
So
18,706 holders. So pretty solid holder count.
yeah, for sure. Does this show the holder count on Pizza Swap?
Well, not a Pizza Swap. I went to the marketplace.
Yeah. I was just curious if it did on Pizza Swap. But all right. Let's kind of get into the next thing here. So Cat 20s are officially live on OKX. I tried to find them. I'm curious if you have any luck, but I took a screenshot of it, so they're definitely here. I'm just having trouble finding them.
What, the
but
Cat
yes,
20s?
Yeah, the Cat 20s on OKX Marketplace. I've been looking. If you go to, let's just show my screen here so you guys can see what I'm saying. If you kind of go to inscription and then fractal, but if they're not inscriptions though, that's the problem there. I think I'm having.
Cat 20s right there.
Where?
So first you got to go to let's see, where
Marketplace?
was I? Yes.
Great. Marketplace.
You know what? It's actually under Blockchain Explorer. If you go to Blockchain Explorer and then go to Fractal, click that, and then you'll see Cat 20 there at the top right.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was looking in the wrong spot. This is awesome. I love that this is over here now. I'm curious what the price is. You can't buy them yet, though, right?
Yeah.
It's not like a
So
marketplace.
I'm not seeing the actual buy and sell options here. It's just showing some analytics, really, the holder count, which there's a lot of holders, man. Almost 49,000 holders at Cat. I didn't realize that. Did you know there was that many? I
knew it was growing, but no, I didn't think it was 48 yet. I thought we were still in the 30s. Last time I saw it, it was like 35,000.
It's wild.
This is pretty big. Yeah. And especially with the drop today of I love the locked up cats. I love what they look like and everything. I'm gonna get a bunch of them. But yeah, I think this kind of grows more and more. The other thing too is like as you're locking up these this cat, you're actually creating another wallet address, right? So you're adding 10,000 new wallet addresses.
So is it kind of similar to what Fluid does, to where it creates
exactly like
okay, so basically it utilizes one of your own like addresses out of your thousands that every Bitcoin wallet has, and it sets it as like a block height lock. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I love that about Bitcoin. That's so cool that it does that.
It is. It's different than any other chain. So basically, so you're gonna have 10,000 new cat holders technically, but they're not actually going to be new cat holders. It's going to be just another account in your wallet. So that is something we have to take into account as well. But there's probably like 20,000 real holders, I expect, right? Because I have 5 wallets with cat in it, right? So and that's just me. Times that by 20,000, you probably definitely have at least 10,000 not fake accounts, but the same.
Yeah.
All right.
It's gonna be interesting though because this is the very first one, so it's kind of like, well, Hanzo Momo wasn't the first collection on Fractal, was it?
It wasn't the first, but it was the most hyped.
Okay, yeah,
So the first was like punks and monkeys
yeah.
and just stupid
But
shit.
this will
But it
be
was
the
the
first and the most hype on Cat. Gotcha.
Exactly. Yep. All right, guys. Today, the first L1 AMM swap service goes live on Tap Protocol, and it is called Taparoo. I'm actually curious on your opinion, bro. So I come over here, and I still have that stop sign. Today's the day. It is October 31st. It is like 4 p.m. for them. Do we, Yagobi? Do we get a delay for Taparoo swap?
I
If
mean,
you had to
if
put all in, one way or the other, do you see a delay happening?
yes, if I had to put all in, yeah, just because like, I thought it was gonna be out before, but I'm excited for it if it does come out. I mean, you know, I don't know. I'm ready to see what this new approach of utilizing a network of provers to finalize transactions on Bitcoin and have an AMM swap type protocol going with that route, right? Some people call it a glorified MPC approach. Some people say it is truly decentralized because you are using a network of provers and you need 51% consensus with all the off chain computation, smart contract stuff like that before it moves forward, and then it gets finalized on Bitcoin. So regardless, because of that loophole, people are allowed to say, in a sense, that they are doing this on L1, right? Because they are finalizing the transaction, like the accounting is finalized on Bitcoin. But you are relying. There is trust assumptions with these provers, but it is different. It's a different approach, and so they're saying you can have swaps, you can have all these things, and not have to bridge anywhere. We'll see though. That's why I'm so excited, is because of that, and because this is utilizing ICP, which has had this technology forever, right? They've always been able to read Bitcoin, or for a while now, and then you have something coming out soon with Arch Network that's a competitor of this, but they built their own custom version of this. So I want to just mess with this. This is so you get excited on a lot of different decentralized applications and stuff. And for me, like if it's extremely like new innovation, that's where I'm gonna jump in, and this is where I wanna mess with this.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I get excited for anything really, like anything I can play with. I can go in and be one of the first people because I get excited on being first. I get excited on being the first 100 people, 1,000 people to enter a project because that's what the opportunity is. Maybe it's not with airdrops and stuff like that, but in this situation, you know potentially there's going to be a Taparoo token. Right? So if I'm using that, I love being incentivized to do things. And I think, a lot of people give incentivized stuff like a bad name, airdrop hunters and stuff like that. But, I'm going to use your service more and more and more if I can if I can potentially get an airdrop, and with something like Taparoo Swap, I do think eventually they're going to reward their users. And that's something people have been doing in crypto since Uniswap, been rewarding the users. So, even if I don't get an airdrop though, being someone who is very familiar with the site, let's just say a meme coin drops and it's the biggest meme coin, I'm going to have that advantage because I know how to use that system better than most people. They're still educating themselves on how to do it. I'm buying the token, I'm minting it, I'm doing other things. So being early not only potentially earns you an airdrop, but it potentially like gives
Gets
you that
you ahead of the
experience.
curve.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And that's why I'm glad that we're partners, because you do a lot of that. And I just
I play with everything. Yeah.
yeah. But I want to share my screen real quick because it says right here, it says countdown has begun. So it says only 24 hours left for the Taparoo Swap beta to go live. So that was 21 hours ago. So technically we got 3 hours left. So we're looking at possibly a what? About 3 p.m. Eastern. So, not too much longer to wait if they're going to go by what they said on their post. So, I really hope that's the case, because I'm going to be excited to see what. I don't expect like all these liquidity pools to be added, but it would be really, really cool if like some of these old ones did get added a little bit of liquidity. People are swapping here and there, and just to kind of mess around and stuff. Because I do expect like memes to drop and stuff like that.
Yeah. Are you bullish on tap memes? Like, obviously, Glizzy is a fractal meme. You had Hoo Hoo, which is a Merlin meme. You had BRC20s. Obviously, we know hundreds of memes there, hundreds of memes on runes. Are you excited for something new on tap, or are you thinking more the lines of just go with Gib, just go with Nat?
Well, I think there's going to be both. I think that Gib definitely is going to be a meme that gets going, but there's also a kind of like a soft spot for I think Benny with Gib because he's said it's has its purpose ever since he deployed it, or whoever did. And then it right away had the memeability from like the image that was that like kind of weird fat Pepe with his hands out,
Yeah.
So there's like that, and then also there's going to be new memes that people try to launch. The biggest question I think that's going to come out is how difficult is it to get my Bitcoin into this Taparoo swap and create something? Because is it going to be like Pizza Swap? If it's going to be like Pizza Swap, there's probably going to be a little bit of delay on the usage and stuff like that because what's the incentive of the liquidity pools as well. That's why I'm so glad that they created that incentive for FB, because if they didn't do that, I think that we know that it would be back to where it was, to where like Glizzy would probably be the top, and then we're basically going through the modular swap on Bitcoin again, which sucked, right? Now it's like, what's the incentive on Taproot swap? And I think that's going to be very interesting to learn about here in the next 3 hours, hopefully, crossing my fingers.
Yeah, 100%. What if you had to name this guy? What would you name him? Right, I'm thinking like it'd be cool if these guys become like memes on there. Like this guy looks like a Tito. Does he look like a Tito?
He does look like a Tito. He looks like a
Like,
he
I
looks
don't
like
know
like a Tasmanian devil mixed with a kangaroo.
like Tito, like Tasmanian devil kangaroo.
Yeah.
Tito. So I'm gonna make a meme of Tito here, and no, I'm just kidding. But it could be fun, and this guy could get a meme. This guy could get a meme. It's gonna be really cool stuff that happens, and I'm really excited to kind of see. I'm excited for Benny. People he gets a lot of hate and stuff like that, but I think he if this succeeds, and that's a big if there, but if it succeeds, Benny's gonna look like the biggest hero in Bitcoin. If all these buzzwords that they've been using, especially Fitzy is buzzword champion. I'm just saying he's buzzword champion. But if this does succeed, Benny and the guys at Scree Labs, man, they're gonna be really looked at as like huge in the space. Absolutely huge.
Yeah, well, especially if he creates an ecosystem that has other stars, shining stars, right? Because let's think of VC projects that really have done extremely well, right? Um, in a sense, Ethereum's a VC project, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there was an IDO, right? And yeah, it was, and it obviously is probably the most successful VC project ever, right? Then you have something like Solana that's really competing. That was a VC project. So there are VC projects that really can grow into like ecosystems. Aptos was a really heavily VC project. So this one right here, it didn't start with VCs. It started with like a guy from Germany that was a good developer that had a really good, way of curating a community and building, trying to be a part of the Bitcoin Renaissance, which he was a big part of, in my opinion. And now it's like, where does this go from here? If Foxy, which is one of our partners, if they build out their ecosystem, it does well. You got Ghosty and Spooky, you got Traverse, you got Cobalt. Those are both two kind of similar solutions, right? That are trying to go after similar audiences with security. And then you have many more launch punks, right? So there's the opportunity for this ecosystem to really thrive, right? If it thrives, then yes, they will be known a big part of this renaissance. And Tap could be a huge household name over here or in the Bitcoin ecosystem.
100%. Like, do you think this like bridging like these meme coins? Let's say Tito gets a meme coin, and then bridging it over to Ethereum. Do you think this is a big deal?
It could spark something just because Ethereum needs something, right? Like
Yeah.
in terms of the meme stuff, right? It could actually spark something. And I didn't think about that until you just said that. Like when you said, I knew where you were going with that as soon as you started talking about bridge and meme. I was like, well, Solana's had pump fund and it's done very well for it, and you've had Sui with its pump fund, but Ethereum really hasn't had too much. They're kind of building on infrastructure. They don't really care, it feels like, right? But at the same time, something is going to spark that and get it going again, in my opinion. And this could be it, like Bitcoin tokens that bridge over to Ethereum to build liquidity for fun and stuff like that, and come back and stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah, 100%. I think it could be monsters. I think when people start, let's just say, just Tito, he goes over, it's Tito, he's over there, he's trading, right? And then people are like, oh wow, what's the utility behind this meme coin, or why do I buy this meme coin? Well, it's a Bitcoin coin. You can take this to Bitcoin and then you can ride it on Bitcoin, keep it safe over there for the security, or you can bring it over here and add it to the LP pools or put it in the tap LP pool. I just think it has that it factor when it comes to Bitcoin meme coins on other chains, because it gives it that, oh wow, okay, I get exposure to the Bitcoin ecosystem. And that might not be a big deal for someone like me and you and like Solana holders, but to these bigger guys who just want exposure to things, they just want to be exposed to things like the Bitcoin ecosystem, but they want to do everything during their MetaMask wallet. They don't want to learn a new wallet, right? They got lots of their whales, they got lots of funds already locked in their their ledger for, and then you can take Tito, who's now an ERC20, and you can put that right in your ledger, thousands and thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of it, right? And then you can just wait until you're ready to sell. And I think that's gonna be massive. And I think that hasn't come yet, but I think it does. What about you? Do you think holding Bitcoin native coins on other chains for whales, and I'm talking like VCs type whales, is going to be a big deal?
I think it can be, but we already have that option with Merlin, right? Because that's an EVM chain. So,
But you can't use a ledger with it yet.
yeah, but I'm sure that's not far away.
Yeah.
But let's look at this. If you're talking about the ETH maxis, no, those people actually probably don't care. It's kind of like Solana maxis; they really don't care too much. Pups is a little bit different, and even though like it still hasn't done crazy on Solana or anything.
I'm not talking about maxis though. I'm talking about VCs, people who just want exposure to assets.
Yeah, I think that they might be interested, but
that's who you need. Fuck the maxis. Like, you know what I mean? That's the people you need. You need the VC money.
Yeah, but at the same time, VCs got burnt very heavily with certain narratives last cycle, metaverse being one of them, right?
Yeah.
And so they're more careful, but at the same time, I think that like once everything is going, and let's say like this Bitcoin ecosystem narrative is just carrying a lot of weight and stuff like that. Yeah, sure, they wouldn't mind having access to like a wrapped version of one of these really popular Bitcoin layer 1 assets, right? But I think we got some time before we get to that point, maybe like summer of next year, which is you're looking at 8 months from now, but that's a long time in crypto time, right? That's like 2 years, right? So it's going to be interesting. I don't know, honestly. I don't know how he obviously did the bridge to Ethereum for a reason. I'm kind of interested to see what's going to be heavily used here, because this is let's talk about bridges though. Like this is a bridge, right? That's going to be back and forth from Ethereum to Bitcoin, and then you have the Cardano bridge with Fluid. That's going to be back and forth from Cardano to Bitcoin. Then you have the bridge with Solana. These were not focus like points at all at the end of the bull run, like in 2022. The only focus of Bitcoin DeFi really was stacks, and then you had your other meta protocol or like ecosystems counterparty and stuff that was just kind of hanging on with like their cultish type of rare Pepe trading and stuff like that, sending Bitcoin to this address and blah blah blah. Now it's gotten like this on-chain economy has really turned things on to where other chains are like, we need a bridge. Yeah, you got a bridge from all the top ones right now. Tap to Ethereum. Merlin, basically you can get to Ethereum through Bitcoin. Emblem Vault, I would say, was probably the oldest one that could really, it's been trying to do this for a while and it has been doing it. But then you got your Solana, but then you got stuff like Layer 0 beyond tech, right? So they're trying to do like an all-in-one type of suite. You know what I mean? Whether it's Solana, Ethereum, and all that, you just come here. That to me is even more bullish because like they realize how big of an opportunity this is.
Yeah, 100%. I just think I think bridging is going to be the biggest thing in our ecosystem because you're gonna have Dog Go to the Moon on Arbitrum in an LP pool. You're gonna have Dog Go to the Moon on base. You're gonna have Dog Go to the Moon. Every single EVM will have some at least one, if not multiple, layer one Bitcoin assets. And to your point, last cycle, like all the Bitcoin DeFi was done with WBTC, right? That was the only thing. There was no DeFi or any type of anything happening on Bitcoin layer one.
Well,
Even Stacks was off chain. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like, so this is the first time ever that you potentially have. I mean, we're seeing DeFi with Fluid right now with staking, right? That's
100%.
technically decentralized finance.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. I'm just really excited for everything that happens here with our layer one assets and in the giant ecosystem of crypto where our assets are eventually going to live. You're probably going to see half of the assets leave Bitcoin native chain and come back and leave and come back and leave. I think that's going to be absolutely massive. Absolutely
Yeah.
massive.
I think Magic Eden has a huge role in this eventually, because what they're trying to do right now is basically play like a Coinbase, play like a Binance, but with on-chain activity for each chain that you're able to do, but with interoperability in the same sense, right? So I think the picture that they're trying to paint it's going to be like that. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be a lot like kind of like how Coinbase is, right? Like, you're not going to be able to do these like bridges. It's basically Magic Eden, in my opinion, Magic Eden has enough capital and liquidity, and they will have enough because they've taken over the NFT and ordinals and digital artifact, and now getting heavily involved with tokens. They're going to have the capital and liquidity for you to trade a Bitcoin layer one asset into Solana right then and there, because they don't care, because they have that for you. The exchange rate works for them. They have enough volume. They're making enough on fees. They have enough capital, enough liquidity to make it seamless. I think they connect everything. And then you have all these other bridges as well that if you want to do it in a more decentralized way and not necessarily go through Magic Eden, you have the options.
Like, how do you think that's going to work? Obviously, we don't know for sure, but do you think it's going to be a deposit system? Like you're depositing into the bridge, you're
No,
depositing into Magic Eden. You think it's going to be peer to peer?
no.
Like
Well,
I can't get in
I
if you
think
can't get if I get
Well,
out.
no, 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 no. So I think you're gonna have the ability. Probably, I think they're gonna add probably rails, maybe like MoonPay or some Moonshot or MoonPay or some, and maybe they
Yeah,
make up their own. I don't know, but if I think you're just like when you go to your Magic Eden wallet, you select what chain you want to utilize at
yeah.
that moment. That's what it is. It's like, okay, I'm utilizing Bitcoin. Okay, on Bitcoin, then you can trade your Doggo to the Moon for Solana, or you can trade this for Ethereum or USDT. They'll give you the options. Probably going to be few in the beginning. Eventually, once they build up more and more liquidity, more and more capital, more and more fees, then it's gonna feel like almost kind of like this, like I said, like a Coinbase or something. Like you're doing all this stuff like seamlessly, because they have it all. You know what I mean?
But with something like Coinbase, I'm depositing my Ethereum and then trading that for Bitcoin. It's how are they going to do LP pools? Are they going to custodian these LP? Like, there's just so many questions I have when it
Yeah,
comes to
so
this aspect of it because
I don't think that they're going to be able to do the LP pool thing because of the technology differences. So like that's why I said I think it's going to be
well,
more
you can
like,
do yeah,
maybe
in-house
central,
LP.
maybe centralized or something. But they
Yeah.
don't even care. I don't think they care about that. Like, because people don't care about it a lot of times. They just want to trade something into something.
Yeah, but, like, how is that possible? Like, that's my question is, like, how and when I trade my dog to the moon, how am I getting Solana? Like,
So
you know what I
so
mean?
yeah, so I think that it's going to come to a point to where, like I said, they're going to have to select a few of the most popular volume runes and stuff that they're going to create this like demand and value, right? And so it
So they're
doesn't
gonna become a
matter.
centralized exchange.
I mean, I don't want to say it like that, but that's pretty much what it's going to be. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's what their plan sounds like to me. You know what I
Yeah, I mean,
mean?
that's my thinking as well. I think Magic Eden is gonna be a centralized
I
exchange.
don't know if they're gonna add the payment rails or anything like that, but that could be an option. Or maybe they just say, well, you can just send your assets to your addresses like a decentralized wallet, and then you'll go from there or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
But still,
So
without them
you'll
custodying it for you, there's no way of doing that. There's no way of that happening without them being a central point of authority.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like so their wallet will be set up like how it is now, and you get like Bitcoin from Coinbase or Cash App, and then you send from Coinbase or Cash App to that Magic Eden wallet, and then you can do whatever you want.
But I
Or
still don't
they
know
or
doing
they
whatever I want.
huh?
But without them being a centralized exchange, I still don't understand how I'm doing that.
Well, and that part, yeah, they're gonna have to, allow you to, trade.
Deposit and then withdraw back to my wallet. That's the only way.
Maybe. Or they just let you just do it from there because you have this balance of Bitcoin and they're doing all the accounting in the back end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then that's still you're right. If let's just say but I'm still, when I'm making that swap for dog to Solana, I'm depositing my rune and I'm withdrawing Solana in the chain, and you know what I mean. So it's like it's still the same. I'm going through a centralized exchange, no matter how it wants to happen. But
yeah,
you know,
it's not basically they're just gonna take your dog, put it into their Bitcoin wallet, and then give you Solana. That's the thing though, because the Magic Eden wallet allows you to switch from chain to chain to chain. That's how it can work though. Because then you'll go to your Solana option, and then you have Solana in your wallet, the balance that you receive for the dog that you sent. I don't know if this is how it's going to work, guys. We're just kind of talking about
speculating.
I'm speculating based off of like posts and stuff that I'm seeing from them.
100%.
So
It's fun to think about too, how the possible ways of doing some stuff like that. But let's kind of jump into some I want to jump on some runes before we run out of time here, because I have a couple questions for you now. We have a new number 1 in volume, Memento Memore, and then obviously we have dog. My question for you is, a month down the line, is Memento Memore still the leading in volume? Obviously, it's hot right now. That's why it's in. It just came out yesterday, and that normally happens. But can this withhold a lot of volume like the dog of the moon? Can this be a top meme coin on Bitcoin?
it can. I'm just thinking of things that were related to Casey before, like uncommon goods. That's a totally different mechanism. So there's a reason why it's not constantly. It is based off of the mempool. This one is inscribed based on inscription 0, right? So it's a child of inscription 0. So there's another layer of value there. It could. I think this is a great experiment to see how much influence he truly has. But look, there is that layer of value there. I think people need to realize that it's inscribed on inscription 0. Some people don't give a crap about that. Some people care. But it is at 14 million. So I think we're gonna have to probably cross that $100 million mark before we even take it to that point of seriousness, if it can maintain, because I don't know what's the supply of this.
The supply of 100 million. So 50 million was airdropped and 15 million was etched.
And this is the only one that he personally has launched, correct?
Well, no, he launched Uncommon Goods.
But
that's right. So this is the second one, but again, that one has unlimited supply until the next halving. So that one's hard to hold because you just don't know what the mempool is going to do, right? I mean, I don't want to hold Uncommon Goods, but Memento Memore, it could be something potentially want to hold, but it's already sitting at a $14 million market cap. If you can see here, Gizmo's at 21, Billion Dollar Cat's at 77, and Pups, but you can see the negative impact that Memento Mori has done to these top runes. So down 10%. And we're talking millions of dollars when it comes to dog. Down 10% for World's Peeps. Again, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Same thing with Billion Dollar Cat. Potentially a couple $1 million. So these are down pretty bad. RSIC the same way. And you go down the line. It's really taking a hit on, Cypher Genesis, Lobo, Coda. This is money. And again, right now it's PvP. There's no new people coming in the rooms right now, no matter what they say to you. This is just money circulating from one coin to another coin to another coin to the same money. It's just circulating. It's not doing anything else. So anything to add to that?
People are just mad because look, before what is it called? Memento Mori launched, runes were already taking a hit because it had made a run up, right? And so people just need to chill out. don't get so emotional and sensitive right now, because like runes weren't running super hard before this launched anyways. I think the timing of it was probably not the best. He probably should have waited a little bit longer, but hey, I don't think Casey thinks about stuff like that. He doesn't care if it does $100 million, or if it does. I mean, he probably would be sad if it did like $500,000 market cap, but because I think he's probably a prideful person. But humans are prideful, right? Anyhow, but this, to me, this is not a big deal. You're overthinking it. I think if you're like, oh, it sucked all the liquidity out of everything. No, wait here for another month and a half, and all these things will be at 2x or 1.5x the top ones, or and stuff like that. So just chill. Like, there was a run up, and Pups is already back to 142 million. $1 billion cat was at 90. I think there was probably a sell off there. And the holder counts are still growing. That's something to look for. If the holder counts are still growing, and even if the market caps get pulled back a little bit, that's okay. The holder counts is what matters. Your community, your cultish community is growing. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not
to
worried
your
about
point, Casey, he wants this thing to go to $1 billion. Like, he probably not going to make wealth off it. He's not that guy, but he has an ego the size of a planet, right? So I think I'm not calling him an egotistical maniac. I'm not saying that. I am saying that Casey definitely wants this to do well, just because it has his name on it. It's the first parent child of the thing that he created, right? Which was Rune Zero, which was not Rune Zero, which was Ordinal Inscription Zero, which he created. He created ordinals, he created runes. He wants this to be the number one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's not gonna push it, he's not gonna pump it, but he's gonna say, hey, like, if you're gonna buy a rune, Memento
About
Mori
mine.
might be the best one. Like, yeah, I don't make nothing from it. I'm not making millions off it. Who knows? He might have bought secondary. I don't know. But he wants this to be bigger than dog, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's actually bullish that he launched a a rune token, because he hates the casino so much, right? So the fact that he's getting involved, let's kind of actually take a win for a win, right? Because like,
Yeah.
he was just an art guy before, but I haven't bought any of it because I'm just not going to get into that hype right now. It's not the time yet. I think they're here in the next week or so probably will be a better time for me to look at things, and possibly get into some stuff cheap if it pulls back, and then blast off for Q4, because we still have like 2 months left until the end of this
Yeah.
year. So I think a month and a half of that's going to be looking real nice.
Yeah, I agree. Let's take a look at that real quick, if you don't mind. So is there anything in here that pulled back that you'd be interested in buying right now? Let's just say you're sitting with 10K on the sideline. What is Yagobi maybe dipping his toe
Well,
into?
we were
runes
supposed
wise?
to talk about the 5 coins of the ecosystem, but
Oh,
we can
yeah,
start
let's do
here
that.
in runes. So pullbacks. Everybody knows I'm bullish on $1 billion cat. It got to 100 million. It pulled back. Right now it's at 77. It's, for me, if I am DCAing, I think that's decent. Gizmo sitting at 21 million. To me, I think that's still too strong. Scroll down. I wouldn't touch Arsic if it was your money. Keep going. Where's Psycho Hamster at? Scroll up. It's right there.
Psycho Hamster kind of pissed me off today. They came at
7 million.
at Petty. The Petty blocked them for whatever reason, and it
Uh-huh.
was like, "Hey, Rune's Terminal, tell your whatever they called them." And I thought it was just
Founder.
messed up.
Oh,
Whoever controls the Twitter accounts of these projects need to be smarter than that, for sure.
yeah.
But
Where's Mr. Yin? Scroll down. That might be one I'm
he's
taking.
usually hangs
He's
out at the bottom.
up.
See him?
Up. Yeah. Up. Right there. Stop.
There he is. Where's
Yeah.
he
So
at?
he's at 10
million?
cents. Yeah. So 10 cents. I probably would look at that, because I think that gets back to where it was in, like,
Yeah.
when things are like all running on all cylinders, like 50 cents. I think it could get 50 cents. So that's like almost a 5x. There's not a ton of runes right now. Maybe next week we'll see if there's like more pullbacks, but right now I don't see a ton of runes. One thing I will say for people to, this is not financial advice, but there's going to be a slew of runes that get launched between middle of November until the end of Q1 that are 90% utility. We're talking about like, you know, the ordinal hives, the fluids, the, you know, what Rooney already launched. What else is BTC? There's Ords are already launched, but you know, those there's going to be that period of time where like people are looking at utility tokens. We've talked about this before. It's going to be a lot of probably newer people to crypto that want utility. What is it? Is it worth? What is the company doing? What is their revenue model look like? Stuff like that. And I think that those have their moments and they do well. Liquidium was one that probably take a look at. It's probably like at like 17 million or something like that right now. And you and I both said that could get to 80 to 100
easily. So what would you say the top 5 are? How many of those would you say are runes?
Probably 2. So I have just 10 or I have more than 10. I have like 14 tokens that I kind of just put out there, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna read them off and then you can kind of tell me what you think about them and we can maybe come up with 5. So they're not in any order of best to worst. So $1 Billion Cat's the first one on the list right there. And this is going in the Bitcoin UTXO ecosystem as well. So Bell's coin is on here.
Yeah.
Fractal Bitcoin, Merlin, Glizzy, Stats, Ordi, Stacks, Dog, Go to the Moon, Uncommon Goods, Tap, Track, Spooky, and then there's a couple that haven't launched yet though, right? So they're more like projects, right? So you have like Sats Pump Fun, you have like the Fluid Runes token, you have you know, stuff like that, and then you have Cat, right? So out of those that I named, which ones like really just stuck out to you in terms of like, okay, that one belongs on a top 5?
Yeah, 100%. So let's start from the beginning. You mentioned $1 Billion Cat. That's definitely in the top 5. You mentioned Bells. To me, that's in my top 5. You mentioned Merlin. I think that's in my top 5. Cat, I guess, would be in my top 5. And what was the top couple you named? Because the top couple, I was just like boom, 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 boom. Okay. So I'll start it off. So BDC, yes. Bells, yes. FB, no. Merle, yes. Oh, Glizzy. I would have put Glizzy in my top 5, but I don't know if it's fair. I would say Tap. Tap would be in my top. So it would be BDC, Bells, Merle, Tap, and Cat.
Okay, so you and I probably going to get a lot of stuff pushback on BDC because they'll be like, well, why do you think BDC deserves it over Pups? Why do you think it deserves it over Dog Go to the Moon?
Market cap. I would say market cap to that. I would say it's a lower market cap. It has more X's to do.
Okay, so $77 million market cap versus 149 versus 400 million. Yep. Okay, so that's fair. And the holder count is more than Pups actually. So the fact that it has a more higher holder count. Okay.
When Dog gets listed, I think Billion Dollar Cat's right next behind it, and Pups. And I think that once Dog gets listed too, you're gonna see a lot of money pour into Billion Dollar Cat. Kind of getting ready for that listing.
Gotcha. Okay, so why Bells over FB though? So go ahead.
90% halving. That's coming in about 8 days, 6 days at this point. It's gonna be monstrous. It's gonna live at a $70 million market cap.
With a million supply leak out forever.
Exactly. So that's huge. That's less than 1. That's a little bit more than 1%. It's like 2%. That's huge forever. I mean, and with the merge mining, it's going to be that was one concern that I had about Bells. I was like, well, what's going to happen when it's not getting in? The people are not making enough. And Adam kind of set us straight with that and was like, no, it doesn't matter. He's like, they're going to keep doing this because it's free money for them.
Yeah,
it's just
they're not wasting. They're not wasting electricity because they're also mining Litecoin or whatever else, right? Okay, so let's talk about that supply because I think that matters a ton with Bells. A lot of people don't realize Bells. For you don't know, Bells coin is the coin for Bells chain, which was the very first meme token that Billy M2K, which was the creator of Dogecoin, created, right? And abandoned, and then it was revived. And the tokenomics on it is a 7. So it's about to go into its last epoch, or there's one more after this.
So there's another epoch. So this is 90% halving, and then there's another 90% halving.
One more, and that's gonna. So
Yeah.
that happens 3 months after, I think.
Yep. So
And
it'll
so we're
be
talking about the summer
November,
of next year.
and it will be February.
Okay, so February, and then it gets to 70 million total tokens, max
Yeah.
supply at that, or not max supply, but total supply, 70 million, with
Yeah.
a million token emission for every year for the rest of the time. So imagine having to get to 100 million total supply is 30 years from now.
Yeah.
So I think that's huge in terms of if this becomes the Doge of the cycle, then that demand can really push the price up, right? So
Yeah.
that's what makes me bullish on that.
And it's a chain, right? It's a chain where you can buy, Bellinals, and you can potentially do everything you're doing on Fractal on Bells with there's no VCs, right? This is all. I mean, you go look at the thing of Bells. There's not many people that hold a bunch of it. So it's basically Fractal without VCs. It's
So
gonna be big. It's gonna be big.
that was one of the downsides to FB, I think, was that there was there's a lot of pre-mine, right?
Yeah, in about 7 to 9 months, you're gonna see a lot of that come out as well. So
What's the argument about the people that mined bells a ton early though? Because is that not a similar situation, or do you think it's different?
So I think they have been dumping though. You can kind of see that in the stats. So I don't think they're holding a lot of it. They're actually distributing that. They're making money. That's a business, right? So they're paying their electricity bills and selling the bells. So they've been selling this entire time. Yeah, there might be some that really stacks them, and they're probably sitting on a lot. But that same time is, I mean, when you're early, you deserve it, right? You deserve to be a whale in that thing. And those whales, they believe in it, right? They're the ones that are gonna donate to the foundations and really start to want bells to be huge. Like we talked to some big players in the space, and some of them say like our whales. Talk about our whales. These guys will be the bells whales. They're not going to want to lose that title.
Bells whales. I like that.
Bells whales. Yeah.
So FB actually kind of has a little bit two things kind of going against it in terms of like pre-mine and also the miners too that can.
Yeah.
But I do think that FB has more hype, and so they have the more demand right now and more capital behind it. So it's gonna be interesting to see these kind of battle out and see which one does better. One is definitely kind of more organic. One is more funded. All right. So
you gotta remember too, FB is an infant, right? It's an infant.
I mean, Bell's kind of is too, though.
Well, Bell's is about to hit its maturity, I think, in the next 5 days.
But it was. Oh, you're talking about like the epoch and all that stuff. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So why does Merle belong in the top 5 to you?
So I'm never really bullish on projects. I'm more bullish on founders, and I just believe in Jeff. I believe in this Telegram idea. If Telegram can be the front end for Merlin's back end, that could bring in 100 million users. I mean, you see Merle right now at 30 cents. I have a target of $8, but potentially, if he's able to do this and people are holding Merle through Telegram apps, you could see Merle with 100 million users potentially.
I mean,
right? And not even knowing they're holding it for gas, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
They like transaction fee and stuff like that. Yep. No, I agree with you on that. Okay, so Glizzy, you screamed.
I wanted to.
The top of the mountaintops. Yeah.
Glizzy is
right outside.
So yeah, it's right outside for me. I think Glizzy hits $100 million market cap. It's not a matter of when. It's not a matter of if. It's a matter of when. And I think that comes maybe early next year. Glizzy is a big part of my portfolio. I think it has huge X's, but it's more risky than the other ones. Like, so when people are watching us, I don't want to I want to give them safe opportunities as well. So BDC I think is safe. Bells is safe. Merle is safe. Tap is safe. Cat is safe. If FB goes down tomorrow, Glizzy's going to pay for that. You know what I mean? Glizzy's going to get hurt. So it has some structuring that's outside its control, unlike other things as well. Like we know Runes is on Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's never going to shut down. Bells, we're pretty confident in the 90% halving and stuff like that. Merlin, same thing. It's EVM. It's out there. It's getting listed on Kraken potentially. it's going to be around for a long time. Will Fractal be? I think I said it's an infant, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, Sats. So Sats is kind of, I guess it falls under like the whole Unisat umbrella. So it's
Same
kind
thing
of
with
like, yeah.
same thing with Dog with me. It's just too big. It's just too big for my portfolio, market cap wise.
All right. Ordi, same thing.
Yeah, same thing with Ordi. I think a lot of money comes out of Ordi, and goes into these other projects for more X's. Same thing with Sats and Ordi. I think they're going to do well, but I'm going to say the same thing with Dog and everything else. So
Yeah. All right. So this next one here, Stacks.
Yeah.
I think Stacks might deserve to actually be in the top 5, and I don't think it has to do with the chain at all. Actually, I think the chain actually, well, it depends on the Nakamoto. Some people are saying really great things about it. Some people
Yeah.
are saying it's still kind of funky, but up and before the Nakamoto upgrade, definitely the chain I felt like hurt Stacks, the coin, more than anything. But if this upgrade is definitely doing what they're saying, then it could help. But I think more than that is the trading volume of Stacks, the coin, because there's no trading happening on the chain at all, really. but looking at the coin, it does about between 70 and 80 million dollars a day, so that's pretty solid. And I think because of that, it would probably fall into the top 5. Because if you're looking at the next highest volume traded one on here, you'd have to probably go to Merlin, which is like trading at like between 15 and 20 million a day. Right. So, yeah. So I think it goes into the top 5. Just the coin, in terms of the coin.
Yeah, I don't think so. I just think this Nakamoto upgrade doesn't seem to be as hyped up now as it was going into it, and I feel like it's kind of falling down a little bit. And again, market cap's too big for me. I don't want to put anything with that big of a market cap in my portfolio. There's just not enough X's, in my opinion.
Yeah. So FB's trading at like 13 million a day. Merle's
Yeah.
like between 13 and 15. I'm curious as to Bell's coin. What's Bell's coin trading per day? Let's see.
Well, it just got listed on MEXC, right? So I
Okay,
think
yeah.
that's a big deal.
Wow, dude, this thing is only trading $633,000 right now in 24-hour volume. To me, that's such big
It's
upside.
one exchange. It's only
Yeah, I
one exchange.
know. I know. Well, they added it to MEXC.
Well, I mean, non-KYC really isn't. I mean, it's peer-to-peer, really, so it's
Yeah.
not even really an exchange.
Yeah. I mean, but that shows that, and then the market cap's only what, 67 million. That's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why it's up here.
Yeah, 100%.
But anyways, okay. So Dog Go to the Moon. You're saying that that's too big of a market cap. I kind of agree with you on that. I'm curious of what that volume is. What do you think Dog does?
Same thing.
10
Dog,
million
yeah, I
in
mean,
24-hour volume. It's not too bad,
It-
actually.
Dog.
Yeah, 10 million. It's
Yeah.
not bad for it's the highest volume room. We know that.
I mean, it's easy to do with a $500 million market cap, right? So
Mhm.
it's like, so it's only a percentage of its market cap being traded. So I don't know. I'm not bullish on Dog for the X's. I do think it'll be a top rune for sure, but I just think there's not enough X's on it for me. Like a 5X is
Gotcha.
not it. I mean, I'm not TradFi, right? A 5X isn't gonna wake me up out of bed.
Yeah. So I think out of the ones that you selected,
What would your be top 5 be?
so I'd go with Merle, Bells because of the opportunity, of course, BDC. I would put Stacks in there because of
Over, what are you taking out?
I would probably take out either Tap or Cat.
Okay.
One of those two. I don't know which one yet. And I was gonna say, Tap really depends on the next 2 weeks, right? If this Taproot swap is amazing today, or at least like a good experience, I think that this stays, and then Cat probably bounces out. But Cat has a lot of opportunity as well. But I was gonna say that Tap to me is one that is probably the more risky on here because of how it's gonna play out. These other ones, we know how their chains work. We know how Merlin works. We know how Bells works. We know how FB works. The other ones are kind of memes that are probably going to run hard, right? So, okay. So this one question, we have our top 5s already. Kind of. We don't have to go over that anymore. I just want to ask you about something. Brandon Wampler said he's a avid watcher of our show.
Yeah,
he was a big supporter of Track Tap. Now, what happens to Track? Does track go to zero, or the validator situation is still there? How do you view track?
I don't know. I just don't have enough information. Right now we're it's a decentralized indexer is what it's trying to be. I don't know. I It's a wait and see thing for me. I wouldn't be invested in this until I see something bullish come from it. I'd rather hold tap over track right now.
Yeah, it's kind of something that you and I both um started to see happening was the shift, right?
Yeah.
Whenever tap um became the featured token, right, for this ecosystem, is like, what's going to happen to track? Track, to me, the sad part about that, if that does happen that way, is the branding behind it, right? Because it was really strong, right? Everything was known as track. Track was Benny. Benny was track.
Mhm.
Track tracked bitmaps indexing. It tracked all these things, and so because of that, like, I don't know, the one Hail Mary I still see is the validator situation. So I think we really need to figure out what happens there, because that could change everything. It could.
Yeah.
It could. But we need to know what the mechanism is with that. Okay. What about Spooky? Ghosty was something that was big. We're hearing that Spooky could play big roles with different, it's going to be like a decentralized exchange type of approach in the tap ecosystem. So that means it could pair with something, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, Ghosty's very interesting because it eventually becomes spooky, right? But spooky's not out yet. So for me, I kind of wanted my top 5 to kind of be tokens
Yeah.
that are out. So I
So
would have to say
not
that
about the top 5, more about the future. Like, how do you see Spooky?
I see Spooky being amazing. I think that team's incredible. I think the Bridges is awesome. They do everything in different ways. They're trying to make it more decentralized. Um, yeah, I mean, we hear that they're working with other projects that we know about potentially building something really cool with them, and yeah, it's tough. I need to see more information and see what else they're building. We heard potentially they're building a leverage exchange, right? So it's just one of those things where I just need to see more before I give them that value date that valuation of big money.
Yeah.
So, but we got a
Well,
super chat real
yeah.
quick. Gerson Callie says, any thoughts on a multi-bit bridge and that ecosystem? Do
Is
you
that
know what they're talking
Mumbai?
about here? Is
I
that
think it's
Mumbai?
I think so. Mumbai. Um, Let me see.
I just think there's better bridges right now. So I wouldn't use Mumbai. Um, uh, are they live? I gotta check on it. It's been a while since we even said the word Mumbai on here.
Mumbai is a city in India. This is Mumbai. It's
What's the difference? Wait, say both of them back to back because I hear the same word twice.
Mumbai is a city in India, and Mumbai is there's
It
no.
sounds like you're saying the same thing.
Well, one has an M, one has an extra M in there. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. It looks like it got listed on Mexi. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, they were a project that was building in the BRC20 days, right? Like, they were constantly on our list of on my list of daily market caps at the top. Like, they
Yeah.
were like $100 and something million market cap at one point. But I don't know if that's the bridge you're talking about, Garrison. But we'll look into that one for you. Viral says price action of track is playing with emotions. Don't let it, don't fade it. Fundamentals are very strong. Track core will be a game changer. Don't forget, it's a chain link of BTC.
It's not though. It's not the chain link of BTC. So a chain link is it. It's
Oracle.
not it's an oracle. It's not a validate. It's not. It's
Well,
not.
in indexer, but the difference is that there wasn't really Oracle opportunities over here. So the only way to
Yeah.
track was through indexing these off-chain databases, right? So in a sense, that's why we were calling it the chain link of Bitcoin at the time, is because there wasn't opportunities to be an Oracle, right? Because there was no smart contract. There's no smart contract abilities and stuff like that to be able to relay data lightning speed as an Oracle. You have to do that fast to be able to have pricing across EVM chains and stuff like that.
But I guess my point would be, why would I put $1,000 in track when I could put $1,000 in tap? Because there's only 2 million tokens circulating in tap, right? So it can jump a lot more. Like, I just don't understand, if you're sitting there with $1,000 and you're choosing between tap and track, they're both going to go up together. They're going to rise and fall together. But I think tap has a bigger pop up because it's being listed on these exchanges. It is an ERC20. There's just no reason for me to go into track when I can go into tap. I get all the benefits of exposure going through the tap token.
The only thing, like I said, would be if they have an amazing validator system mechanism. It has to be something that has to be continuous. It has to be very needed, and has to continually give tap emissions, like what they said, right? Because you got to think about it like this. For example, say there's this new project that launched on an ERC20, and they're building their own chain. What they'll do a lot of times is they'll sell you a node that is to validate the transactions or whatever on the chain, but it gives you emissions of that token, right? So this is kind of similar to that. But does that mean that like there's going to be a constant nonstop of emissions of tap? Also, what is it validating? What are these track validators actually validating? Are they validating, like, are they a part of the consensus mechanism, that ICP? Are they a part of that, 51% consensus? That's why, they need to be able to communicate these things better to the community. Because like right now, if I'm a track holder and I have all the knowledge up until now that we have, I would say, what's going on with track? Like, what's happening with track? Like, what is the incentive to hold track other than, and if it also 10,000 track right now to get a validator is the price, right?
Oh, not yet. It's getting there though. I think it's getting to the thousands now. They haven't done one in a while. So
yeah. So, and then like I would do some sort of like permanent burns with those or something, because there needs to be an incentive to, want people to buy track and hold it for longer. I'm not saying it's going to zero, but they need more information out.
If I'm holding track and I still want to keep that exposure, I'm dumping it for tap. In my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know. I need more information before I can say that. Help us says Ghosty will go crazy if track works. Yes, we agree. Ghosty will go spooky. That's another situation. I think we got like this is a thing. I think we got to kind of move past that kind of situation. We're moving past Ghosty. We're moving past track, or they have their purposes, whatever it is, and we're now on to tap and spooky or whatever. But we'll see. All right, Sixes says they're saying Lambda proxy wallet is mainnet, but has anyone tried it? I never see the innovation only messages to stay tuned. I had high hopes. Yeah, Lambda, for those that do not know, is also another meta protocol with someone that came over from the EVM side a while ago and created TypeScript smart contracts kind of meta protocol, but it hasn't really move forward. There's a lot of these that are still waiting to launch and stuff like that, but I think that's go ahead.
With Lambda though, you have to bridge in and then you're still playing with Bitcoin block times. It just doesn't work for me. If I got to bridge in somewhere, I don't want to deal with 10-minute 30-minute blocks. But
Yep. Guys, we have 404 people here on a slower Thursday with Bitcoin's price kind of, we are staying above that $70,000, but we appreciate all of you guys hanging out with us. If you guys do have a moment, please check out our partners. BitBTC is the predictions market of the Bitcoin ecosystem, utilizing ICP and Bitcoin technology. Shizzy took like 4 or 5 bets yesterday. I think a couple of them are winning.
25.
Oh, wow. 25 bets. Okay. It's a really simple process. We put out a tutorial yesterday, so you should be able to check that out. Oh, sorry. Not yesterday.
Not yet.
It's coming up.
It'll be today.
Yeah, it's going to come up soon today, but it's a very simple process. Just follow those step by step. So look out for them. In about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to have more features like create your own markets. That's going to be huge. You're going to be able to earn a small percentage if those markets are popular, right? As well as bet with your friends. You're going to be able to do that social platforms, guys. Oh wow, Shizzy's at the top. Look at him utilizing testing
Well,
away.
number 1 and number 4.
Wow, double
Come
Shizzy
at me,
there.
bros.
Yeah,
So
so check.
$150 puts you ahead of me, though. Just a heads up. It's not like I'm $1,000 in or anything.
Yep. And if you're testing it out now, you can earn points too, guys. So check that out. And then you have BitPerp. You know, see us utilize their charts every day. The paper trading competition is going on right now for the next, I would say, 4 to 5 weeks. Top PNL gets 100,000 BTP. Visit bitperp.io today to start to participate. We did do a tutorial video on how you can claim your free paper USDT 10,000. You can do that with Core DAO, you can do that with B Squared, and you can do that with BitLayer. And it's easy. All you do is connect your wallet, and it connects you to the RPCs very, very quickly. And then you have Ordinal Hive, the aggregator Ordinal marketplace for layer 1 and layer 2. And they're going to find you the cheapest ordinals, guys, because they're an aggregator. So that's what they do. That's their main job. And then also they have amazing analytics on their site to where you can see what's the hottest ordinals that are minting or that are selling on secondary and all those great things there. So check out Ordinal Hive at beta.ordinalhive.io, and you can earn points by listing, buying, and selling there. Foxy is a Bitverse metaverse building in the tap ecosystem. They also have a first-person shooter game with the Clan Wars, and they have the Bit Miners. I messaged them earlier about the Solana integration that should be happening with the Solana USDT. We'll do a quick tutorial on that as well to kind of walk you guys through that. It should be very, very simple. But if you have the Cosmic, the most rarest Bit Miner right now, you can mine tap tokens. So that's a really good feature there. You will have to maintenance your Bit Miners, but we do a tutorial for that as well. So check out that. We have a collaboration with our sniper rifles very soon with more information dropping on that as well. So stay tuned, guys. And then Fluid tokens. They are innovators, guys. Originally Cardano UTXO devs, so they know all the ins and outs of UTXO chains. In fact, they know so much that they created the very first staking mechanism on layer 1 Bitcoin, guys. You can, if you're a founder of an ordinal collection or runes, reach out to Raul or us. We'll get you connected with them to set up a staking vault. Pretty soon they're going to have staking vaults that you can set up and set the parameters yourself for your community. I earned like almost $300 of BTC. That probably changed a little bit, but I staked only 10 Billy Cats. So make sure you check out Fluid tokens. They have a ton coming. They're working on a bridge that's a trustless bridge from Cardano to Bitcoin and back and forth. Also, you know, they're going to be on a new network. I don't know if we're allowed to say, but they're it's with going to be interacting with Bitcoin Layer 1 as well with their main featured product lending. So wait for more information on that. It's going to be very, very fun. And then finally, Merlin Chain, guys, is the #1 scaling solution for Bitcoin native L1 assets and protocols. If you are a builder and you want to make your protocol more flexible from than it is on Bitcoin Layer 1, reach out to these guys. Their team is very supportive of new builders that is ready for innovation. You just got to be serious. You can earn a grant like Emblem Vault did. And so if you're interested, reach out to those guys. And we appreciate you guys checking out our partners.
100%. And guys, if you wouldn't mind going to ordinalrevolution.com, read some of the best articles dating all the way back to last year. If you know someone just entering the space, send them our website. We really, really feel like it can help them get started and get caught up. If you need a VPN to claim stuff, you will probably need NordVPN. It's a 70% off coupon. Pop that guy in Switzerland, and you guys can use any site you want. So it's not against the government to use a VPN. That is with the sites. It's with the sites alone. You are free to use privacy. Privacy is a right. You do not want these big companies knowing your IP address, because your IP address can lead to your address and they can find out where you live. So definitely use a NordVPN. Get our link here. It's super cheap. It's like $2 a month. So definitely check out NordVPN. And Bitcoin 2025, me and Yagobi will both be there. It's going to be exciting. So check out our tickets there. Do not wait for next year. If you're thinking about going, get them as soon as possible. Use our link here, and it'll get you that discount. For example, Well Pass was $3,000 now. But as we get closer, it's going to be 30 grand. But you can get festival tickets and stuff like that super cheap. So definitely check out ordinalrevolution.com for that. And if you guys want some merch, we have some of the best merch in the game, and we beat everybody. So we got some of the best stuff. Check out our stuff here. If you guys want some, add it. Let us know. And look at the ALUs, man. They're pumping. So if you have an ALU, you need an ALU shirt. So definitely check out Ordinal Revolution. This is through our Shopify. And this is all done through a third party. Me and Yagobi are not in our basements packing these shirts. Send them to you. We do not know your address. We do not know your name. We give them the logos, and they do their thing. We make a few bucks on the side. But we appreciate you guys. We are live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. So these times might change. I know that Europe just had their daylight savings time. We're getting ours this upcoming weekend. So stay tuned. Make sure you guys have that bell icon ready, because the time might change for you. I know it is changing for us a little bit. So definitely check that out. And I'm going to have the right times for you guys next week once the daylight saving time is over. But I appreciate you guys. And until tomorrow.
Peace.
We OG, oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Runes is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, is my guy for real, bro? Got French right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me.